Hey, hey, it's Cecile, the Mommy Magic Maker, CEO and Creative Director of Mommy Evolve. And I'm here to just give you a little conversation, talk to you a little bit about spiritual maintenance and spiritual self-care. Because we often we hear about self-care from the standpoint of going to get your hair done, your nails done, and I am a proponent of all of that. When Mommy Evolve was started, though, I had to take a deep look at self-care from all areas. And so this is why I promote, advocate, and teach holistic self-care. Because in order to truly feel like you have a good foundation, groundation, an ally in your evolution and your growth, you need many different ways to be able to accommodate that. And thankfully, we have so many ways. So we have mental, which is your thoughts, thinking about how you think, asking yourself the appropriate questions you need to ask to get yourself the good answers that you need in order to do what it is that is most powerful for you to do in your life and most powerful for you to live in your life for you. That could be in the form of affirmations. It can be in the form of reading self-help books, going to conferences, switching your mindset around to do things differently. Now, this is probably the hardest part because it requires a consistency, a persistency, and a vulnerability that that some people may not be ready for, and that's okay. But just know it requires consistency because that's where it all begins and ends, is in your mind. What you decide to do, right? What do you decide to do? Are you going to decide to say, I can't do this, and so I'm going to go back to my old way? Or are you going to decide to say, let me discover what I can do and move forward with what I can do? The choice is always yours, of course. And this is, it takes some trial and error. Sometimes you're going to do it, sometimes you don't. But the more you put in your mind that this is what I desire, the more you are going to move yourself toward what it is that you desire. And away from those habits that you have formed, that have been given to you, that don't serve you. So that's mental. Emotional, they all go together, right? So for me, the emotional self-care is your ability to pinpoint your feelings. How do you feel? How do you really feel? You get angry, right? Do you really feel, is it really frustration underneath that anger? Is it that you feel like you're not being heard? Is it that you're tired? Because exhaustion does a lot to you. What is it? Do you not know what you need? And you need to discover that. That's where therapy, counseling, coaching, all of those powerful things come in. Because sometimes we don't know because we haven't had the opportunity to say what we need or express it. And so we have to come to a understanding and a conclusion about what it is that we actually need and give it verbiage, give it words, so that when it comes up again, we can notice what it is. That's very powerful. For me, it has been so powerful to know that instead of being angry, that I could express the feeling of not being seen or heard. Instead of being angry, I could say, okay, what is this? What can I really look at and discover and determine what I need to be saying or doing that's going to shift this situation? Because just getting angry isn't going to work, right? It's just going to continuously make you angry. So we have to look at that. So I just said mental, emotional, briefly. But today I'm talking about the spiritual. And again, these are not separate. They're really not. Because the genesis of everything is what goes on in your mind and your spirit. That's what proceeds outside of you. That's what goes outside of us, what people see oftentimes. I mean, we can fake it. And I know we hear this, fake it till you make it. I don't believe in fake it till you make it. Because I don't believe that you can make it if you fake it. You may make it for a short amount of time, but it's going to fall apart because what you have as the foundation, as the anchor, is not strong. And I know that from personal experience, from some things that I'm personally dealing with now. I'm like, ooh, I got to go back and look at this. And that doesn't mean that whatever it is has to end, but it will take work for you to rebuild on that foundation. Don't even rebuild on it, actually. Destroy it, recreate another foundation. And that takes work. And so the spiritual for me has been a lot of being in relationship with spiritually grounded people who could show me what these principles look like, right? Because we a lot of us have a lot of good information about the principles, but what do they look like in action? What do they look like in action? Do they look like you always being nice all the time? No, that's not what it's about. Because when we think about spirituality, we think about humility, humbleness, and yes, they are all those things. But to everything, there is more than one side of the coin. So even in having humility and niceness, quote unquote, there may be times when your niceness doesn't look like the conventional niceness. It'll look like you being strong in your stance against something. That will be your version of being nice. Okay. One of the things that I have come to use and come to love and come to appreciate is chanting. Because for me, I'm a very cerebral person. And because I'm so cerebral, I have to do activities that take me outside of my head so that I can release things from my body and create new physical rituals or physical movements that I associate with mental activity. For me, that's so critical. And I know that that's critical for a lot of women out here who are educated, who are always in their head. I hear it all the time from women. I'm always in my head, you know. I don't verbalize certain things. And that's key because your word, I mean, depending on it, it doesn't even matter which religion you believe in. We've heard, you know, you hear in the Bible, you know, God said, create this and the world was created. But that's the same thing in many creation stories. Things were created through the speaking of. And so if you're serious about your ability to create, then getting out of your head and getting these things out of your mouth is going to be critical. And there's going to be some trial and error because there's going to be things that you're not precise enough on. There's going to be things that you don't know enough about. And so you say it and you get something and then you kind of have to pull back. It's life. It's life. But know that you speaking things out of your mouth is a way for things to get healed. It's a way for things to be to find some sort of resolution. Let me say that. To find some sort of resolution. Hey, maybe a revolution too. But anyway, this is my mala. And if you don't know what a mala is, malas have been used in Eastern spiritual traditions, Hinduism, Buddhism, to meditate. And I'll tell you that when I first started my journey, my coaches and mentors, they would tell me to meditate. And I could not sit still long enough to meditate, not even 5 minutes. My mind would be I told you I'm heady, right? I'm cerebral. So my mind could not sit still long enough for me to just be still. And I know that this is a common issue with many of us. And so I had to really begin to, first of all, practice more, but I also had to put my mind on something to focus that was going to bring me the relaxation that I needed. And so I started to do imagery, because your imagination is a powerful place. Psychosomatic imagery, just imagining things. And that took some time because, again, as someone who is educated, heady, cerebral, whatever you want to call it, I would often think about what I already knew. And it was difficult for me to take myself out of what I already knew and bring myself into what I wanted to create. That's what, you being told that what you learn is supreme will do. Okay, what you learn from other people, what you learn from outside yourself. Okay, that's what that will do. It will stunt your imaginative properties and abilities. So, malas have been powerful. This is, I have several. One of them, and there's different kinds of malas, by the way. This one happens to be made out of semi-precious stone, lapis lazuli. And in the description, I will tell you what lapis lazuli is good for in terms of your overall wellness. And so now I use malas to do gratitude. And I started this about a year ago, probably more than that. I don't even remember. And I would sit and just think of 108 things, because the mala beads have 100. It really has 109 because this is the 109th piece. But it has 108 beads that you use to count. Okay? You use them to count. And as you move the bead, as you see me moving the bead with my thumb, okay, you say something that you're grateful for. So I'm grateful for self-confidence. I'm grateful that all of my bills are paid. I'm grateful for peace of mind. I'm grateful that my children are protected. I'm grateful that my family is healthy. I'm grateful that my health issue is gone. I'm grateful for divine self-care. I'm grateful for whatever it is you want to say that you're grateful for. I'm grateful that that meeting went really well and I spoke powerfully. I'm grateful for superb friendships. I'm grateful for vulnerability. I'm grateful that I was successful in my program or project. I'm grateful that I graduate. Okay, whatever it is. And take note of how I'm holding these. There's many different people that will tell you different things about how to hold these. There's a lot of videos online. But I like to look a little bit deeper into things. And I found an explanation that made a lot of sense to me, even though it's not easy to hold the beads over your ring finger. It makes sense because it's called our ring finger. We put our wedding ring and rings on this finger because it has a direct connection to the heart. And so the energy of this finger is the most powerful. Okay. The energy of your pointer finger is weak because it signifies the ego. And your middle finger, which is the finger that ironically a lot of people use, is also not the best finger. I mean, there's a reason why we give people the middle finger. It means something traditionally. And so putting it over the ring finger will have the highest energetic force for you. It's not easy because it's not necessarily intuitive, but it's something that I had to get used to. I'm still kind of getting used to it because your natural, your inclination will be to just throw it over the middle finger. But we always use the thumb to move it. Okay. And you always start with the tassel or whatever is there, because not all of mine have tassels. Some of them have pendants and things like that. You always start with it towards you. And again, you can either say something of gratitude. I share gratitude or I say gratitude affirmations because gratitude is a great way to lift your spirits and your energy and give you positive expectation and allow you to lubricate your mind and your spirit to move towards those things that you know that you will be grateful for once you've done them, right? Or you can just sit and move the bead one by one. And trust me, it is such a meditative and beautiful thing. Or you can just say any affirmation that you want. But you know, once you've gone through it, moving the beads, that you have gone through 108 cycles, seconds, or, of saying something positive or just sitting still. So that's why it's good for meditation, because it gives you the ability to sit still for that period of time. Isn't this color beautiful? This is like one of my favorite colors, hence why it's in my logo. Anyway, so I just wanted to come to you and talk to you about the mala a little bit, and why I use it and why I started to use it, and how you can use it with gratitude affirmations, and why gratitude affirmations are powerful. I even read where there has been studies that showed that gratitude actually changes the wiring of your brain for more positive outcomes and expectations. So gratitude is a powerful tool to use, even in situations where you feel like this is not what I desire. You can easily take that and change that and re-script it and say, this is bringing me towards me being a better me. This is bringing me closer to my abundance and my goals. So whatever it is, you can always re-script, rethink, recalibrate, because your life is yours and you can do with it what you choose. And gratitude, if you feel like you have nothing else, because we always have something that you can step into. As my grand aunt used to say all the time, when you have life, you have a lot. That is not to accept the less or the least in anything. That is just to say that you always have the chance. You have another day to push yourself or to move yourself towards what it is. So why not be grateful? This is a powerful thing to practice with your children. I have my daughter doing a positivity journal. It's sitting here somewhere because it's always in view. And I'm going to have her start doing this gratitude. I'm going to show her how to use it. She already likes to use my cards and things like that. She'll just start flipping out my cards. So gratitude. It's a very powerful thing to really keep your mind focused. And if you're interested, as I said, you can, down below the video, you will see where you can go and find these, where you can get these. You can get just the mala itself, or you can get the mala and the gratitude, or the affirmation, 108 affirmations of gratitude, which includes a meditation, which are both very powerful for you to use in your spiritual practice. And what I love about it too is that it's a simple practice. So you, if you're a busy woman, You can be at your office during lunchtime and just listening to that. Or you can wake up in the morning and have 20 minutes to just go through that. And so I've made it easy for you to practice self-care in a way that is going to shift you, mind, body, and spirit. And so I'm glad to bring that to you today. I hope to see you in my 6-week Evolve the Inner Mother course. No, you do not have to be a mother, because it goes through those areas where women tend to struggle with their evolution and their growth. Guilt and shame is one of them, those areas. And so I look forward to speaking with you more. You can visit my page, and again, this will be down at the bottom. Setmore, setmore.momevolve.com. Thank you so much. Be well. Keep your wellness in mind. It's okay to put yourself first. And peace and blessings. Bye-bye.